Today we are going to talk about indoor environmental health and safety, and this is a series of videos of environmental awareness program which has been launched by the Zayed International Foundation for the Environment. The indoor environment, quality and healthy food and water, the conservation of resources like water, energy, food and paper, and the waste, reuse, recycle, household chemicals like cleaning chemicals and maintenance chemicals, cosmetics and medicines, and radiation. These are the main issues which we are going to talk about in this lecture. We are in the hot regions, and also people in the cold regions are living in what we call a closed box life, because they are simply moving from their house to the car, and then from the car to the office, and from the office to any place else like shopping center, which would also be closed, and back to the house, especially for people who have garage and they are living in towers and multi-story buildings where they just go down to the garage and never go out. So this is like just rotating between these closed environments. The closed environment in the buildings can be polluted, and this is what we call the sick building syndrome. A sick building is a polluted building which is usually causing allergies and health problems, mainly due to poor ventilation and poor cleaning practices. People feel better when they leave the building. This is the main indicator that this building is sick. Indoor temperature and relative humidity play an important role in the impact on health. That means if the building is polluted, different temperatures have different effects on your health. The indoor environment is complicated, as so many factors can affect its health and safety, but the main causes of sick buildings are poor cleaning, poor ventilation, and the misuse of chemicals and electronics. Studies found that the children's rooms are the most polluted, actually, unfortunately. So, in a sick building, you have this problem that, people with running noses, running eyes, sometimes very acute problems. And the indoor air quality is affected by the indoor thermal quality, indoor air quality, indoor lighting quality, indoor sound quality, and indoor odor quality. All these are different factors affecting your health. The most important factor in air quality is air pollution. So we cannot hold our breath for more than minutes, and as an adult you need 2,000 liters per day of air, which means if the building is polluted, you are still obliged to breathe, which means you are forced to take in pollution or pollutants into your lungs. Most health risks of indoor environment are due to indoor air pollution, because this is the most important and you cannot avoid it very much. So also in indoor air quality, furniture and pets play a very important role. Furniture and carpets emit different chemicals because when they were made, they were actually painted by chemicals for color. They were painted by chemicals for fire resistance, for shining, for different purposes. So these are different chemicals which are actually dangerous, and they can affect your health. So they accumulate in the air of the room. The carpets and furniture also collect and accumulate dust, bacteria, viruses, and fungi, which we breathe, and it also affects our health. Now, dust mites and very tiny insects live in dirty houses, and their waste and their hair and the hair of pets are very important allergens. That means factors which affect allergies. So we have to be careful about what is in our house and our office. Household chemicals are a very important factor, and one of the most important actually factors in indoor quality. The indoor pollutants include so many kinds of chemicals. Cleaning chemicals, some of them are really very tough and very dangerous chemicals, and people can use them really without knowing, not being aware that these chemicals are dangerous, We have also maintenance chemicals. We find them in the houses. Then there are pesticides to control pests. There are medicines. And for the pesticides, people, when they have, for example, flies in the house, then they try to kill them by using aerosols like Piff Bath, for example. Now, aerosols should not be used in open places, because in open places they are only 10 to 15% effective. If you have to use aerosols, then you have to close the rooms tightly. The person who applies the pesticide has to protect himself, and then after the application, the room should be closed for some time, and then people should ventilate the room, and then after that get in. Otherwise, you will be inhaling the pesticides which are dangerous for your health. The misuse of antibiotics, misuse of any medicines, of course, is really bad and dangerous. But the most common is the misuse of antibiotics, and the misuse of antibiotics does not only hurt the person who is misusing, but it hurts the whole society and community, because the bacteria will be more resistant to antibiotics, and then you have to take stronger antibiotics next time, which have higher effect on your health, side effects. Cosmetics are also one of the most important types of chemicals in the house, and some of them are really misused, and some of them are really dangerous. For example, acetone is one of the chemicals used in the house to clean or to clear manicures, for example. Acetone is a very strong chemical which is really dangerous, and it has to be used in a ventilated area, not in a closed place, and away from children. Also, when you are using perfumes, so many people are using perfumes directly on their body, which is wrong. You should use perfumes on your clothes, not your body, because if you use it on your body, it has chemicals that can penetrate into your blood stream and then affect your health. Chemicals like asbestos, which is a carcinogen chemical, is found or has been found in some of the makeup sets, like this Giorgio Suya, So you have to be careful and read what are the contents of your cosmetics. The indifference and the misuse of chemicals are the main causes of what we call accumulated poisoning. Accumulative poisoning means that the chemicals will build up in your body piece by piece until they reach a stage when they cause a big problem, and then after that it will be too late. If you get cancer, if you get kidney failure, then it is too late. Then it will be either incurable, or it will cost you so much time and money and effort to cure such disease. Indoor air quality is also affected by radiation because all electronic and electric equipment and appliances in the house emit radiation which pollute indoor air. Computers and mobile phones emit the most, especially when they are connected to the internet and Wi-Fi. So you have to be careful about the use of the electronics and electric appliances. Electronics are also causing a lot of problems like stiffness of neck muscles and back pain due to sitting for long periods, and you don't really notice that you have been sitting for a long time. And you can be sitting wrong, you know. So in addition to that, they are also emitting radiation. Internet-related problems have been studied, and many of them have been actually recorded, like allergies. Internet has been associated with some types of cancer. They affect fertility. They deactivate some medicines like tamoxifen, which is for breast cancer. They also affect your genes, you know, the genes that you pass on to your children. So, for this reason, mobiles and iPads and these electronic devices should never be given to children as toys to keep them busy, unless it is on airplane mode and no Wi-Fi. That means no internet and no phone net reaching the device. Indoor air quality is also affected by old wall paints. The paints are in the wall, on the furniture and so on. And when they get old, they actually emit powders which you don't see in the form of very, very fine dust in the indoor air, which means you will inhale it. And these are more hazardous when they are leaded paint or paint that include POPs, which are called persistent organic pollutants. So indoor air can also catch outdoor pollutants of vehicles and exhaust and industry and dust and so on. As you can see here in the picture, the city is completely blacked out by a dust storm, or you can see here pollutants from cars, which are really sometimes very nasty. Indoor pollution can be 5 to 10 to 100 times the outdoor pollution, because many people think that pollution is only outdoor. No, pollution is indoor, can accumulate if you are not ventilating your indoor and changing the air, then it will accumulate and it can become 5 to 100 times more than outdoor pollution. Buildings that have central AC, they are usually doing yearly maintenance by just changing the outside filter, but that's not enough. Studies proved that AC ducts accumulate dust, viruses, bacteria, fungi, chemicals, and smoke that can be distributed with air between rooms, causing health problems. And this is more noticed in offices, where you have things from other offices come to your office, and it can even include microbes. You know, if somebody is sick, they can also transfer the microbe to your office. There is new robotic technology for cleaning and disinfecting AC ducts, and we hope that this will become mandatory for all buildings. One more thing about ACs and internal temperature, because some people put the AC on very low temperature, and this is really not healthy. If the difference between your indoor and outdoor is more than 6 degrees Celsius, this will cause exhaustion for your body and may even lead to blood circulation problems. When it is too cold, you run the risk of catching flu and also of exhausting your body, because your body will have to generate more heat to keep its internal temperature normal. Also, the ACs or the air conditioners usually dry the air because they suck out the humidity. So dry air will lead to dry skin, dry nasal mucosa, membranes, so it will make it easy for viral infections, and it will also cause some problems for you. And so it is better to use moisturizing creams especially if you are, for example, traveling in a car or in an airplane for long distances. Then it is better to use moisturizers to keep your skin and nasal mucal membranes really humid. Heat and humidity in outer part of the AC. Of course, the AC will give you the cold air and suck the heat to the outside. So the outer part of the AC will be very hot, and it creates good conditions for the growth of bacteria and viruses and fungi. So that's why the air conditioners also need to be treated mainly by radiation to kill the germs and improve the health of the employees and the residents of the towers. ACs should be maintained regularly. Car AC should be sterilized regularly as well. Airplane AC usually receives scheduled maintenance, and it is less likely to be infected. Now, for food and health safety, you should always try to eat clean and healthy food. Many people really are addicts of fast food and junk food, which is not really healthy. Food that is cooked in broiled oil, if the oil is used more than one time, usually it becomes what we call hydrogenated fats, and the hydrogenated fats block the assimilation of important nutrients like vitamins, and also it interferes with sensitivity to bacteria and viruses. That means that your cells, body cells usually have in the outside factors which are sensitive. They will detect any bacteria and viruses and fight them. Hydrogenated fats will interfere with that and make them less sensitive, which means you will get sick easier. Water bottles should not be put in the freezer. Many students, school students, they put the bottles in the freezer during the night, and then in the morning they take the frozen water out, and then they take it to school, and so that it becomes, or it remains cold when they come to drink it. This is a dangerous practice because freezing water in the plastic bottles will actually release dioxins, and these are carcinogenic chemicals, and you will not feel it, but it will accumulate in your body piece by piece in many years. If you are doing this for many years, then it will affect your body and cause some problems like cancers and so on. Refined sugar, salt and flour, these are also less healthy, so you should always try to avoid eating much of them, what we call the three whites. Food preservatives, colors and additives, you should always check, especially canned food, check the contents, because these chemicals are also dangerous to your health, and you should always report any food poisoning to the municipalities. Food is also cooked in cookware, and you should check before you buy your cookware. It is very important to read, and Google can tell you about the good cookware and the bad ones, so you should be careful about what you buy. there are three important factors that will affect the cookware and affect whether the cookware itself will then dissolve and release chemicals into the food or not. The heat, the acidity, and salts. So higher heat means more likely to dissolve the chemicals. Higher acidity, like the foods that contain, for example, tomato, will be more likely to release the chemicals, and the salts will also do the same. For example, the cookware that use Teflon so that the food does not stick, what we call the PTFE. This PTFE can turn into carcinogenous substances by high heat and by acid substances, you know. Aluminum foil under high heat and acidic medium can release aluminum itself into your bloodstream, and aluminum is found in the bloodstream of humans naturally, but with the quantity there is limited, and if it exceeds certain limits, then it can really go in the bloodstream to the brain and cause Alzheimer and other problems. Aluminum, stainless steel, coated copper, lead-free ceramic, and so on. These are all the types of cookware, so you have to read and know how to use them and which ones are better. Of course, the best are always glass and pottery for everything, especially for acidic food. Pottery is actually even better than glass, but some people say that when you wash it with soap, the smell of soap remains, because pottery has more, is more likely to keep the soap and not get rid of it. You also have storage and serving ware. You can containers, you know. As we said earlier, heating and freezing plastic releases dioxins. So you should not freeze water in the bottles, and you should not also put the water bottle in your car, for example, under the heat, and then you come and drink it, because you are drinking water with dioxins. So no heating, no freezing for anything which is stored or kept in what we call this thin plastic, whether it is a bottle or whether it is Saran wrap or whether it is anything else that is possible to corrode and release dioxins. Glass and pottery, as we said, are the best for acidic food especially, and hot drinks in plastic or plastic coated cups is also not good at all. You should not use hot drinks in plastic and plastic coated cups, because most of these paper cups are also coated with plastic. Now when we come to the carbonated drinks, for example, studies found that a Coke per day is as bad as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. This is an American study at University of California, found carbonated drinks to be more damaging to health than smoking. Soda, which is loaded with sugar, is a leading contributor to the rising rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other chronic diseases. Massive marketing campaigns, funding research, and sponsoring media programs make the sugary beverages acceptable to the most vulnerable members of the society. These are the kids, because there is really very strong marketing and very strong ads. Coca-Cola, for example, has a pH of 2.4. And the pH of your blood is 7.4. Look at the difference between 2.4 and 7.4. So the stomach will have to work really hard to neutralize the acid here by withdrawing calcium phosphates from your body. And the calcium phosphates are very important for your bones and for your teeth. And that's why the carbonated drinks cause the problems of the bones and problems of the teeth. No. Carbonic and phosphoric acid, which are found in the cola, also inhibit the secretion of the hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid is the main acid secreted by the stomach once you eat anything, because the hydrochloric acid is very important for digesting the food, especially proteins. And so the carbonic and phosphoric acids of the carbonated drinks will retard the secretion of the hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid is also very important for resisting bacteria and viruses. So the result will be then many problems related to digestion also. The study was actually supervised by scientists and public health specialists, and they found a very significant impact on aging of cells. That research proved a real rise of 4 to 6 years rate in aging for those who are addicted to carbonated drinks. Most cells are destroyed indirectly and they become unable to repair themselves or compensate dead cells. So the carbonated drinks also affect the safe levels of white blood cells, which are the main defense agents of your immune system fighting the germs and diseases. So you will become, your immune system will become weaker if you are an addict of the carbonated drinks. One problem found in the buildings, especially in houses, are the pests. So there are so many kinds of pests that can be found in the house, like mosquitoes, flies, cockroaches, even rats and mice. They can also be found in the house, especially if the house is dirty, if you leave stagnant water for the mosquitoes to breed, then you have a problem. And if your house does not have window screens that can keep the insects out, you will also have pest problems. So what do people do to control pests? Most people will use chemical control. Chemical control means you bring chemicals like Biff Puff, or bring control companies that will come to spray or apply chemicals. All these chemicals are dangerous to your health. So if you misuse them, if you don't use them correctly, then you are actually risking your health and the health of your children especially. I would prefer to use mechanical control. Mechanical control needs that you be aware that you use, for example, hand objects to kill the insects immediately when you see them. So if you see one cockroach, for example, you don't wait. You immediately kill it, because that single cockroach can be carrying 150 eggs. And it's a female that can lay 150 eggs. That means a whole generation will be coming if you delay the killing. If you are not comfortable with this mechanical killing, then you can use electric devices. You can use sticking devices. There are so many other things which are available. There are traps. You can even make your own trap from a water bottle for insects. All you have to do is just cut the upper part and then turn it over, invert it, and then put something attractive in the bottom of the bottle that smells good for the insects, then they will come and then enter and never be able to get out again. Okay, that is simple. And if you are not careful about chemicals, this is what happens. You will get, especially for people who are allergic, you can get real serious diseases like this guy who was affected by chemicals. This child died with rat poison. Some people say it was put in milk for him by a housemaid. But anyway, children are moving around in the house looking for anything, and if they find something like this, they will simply eat it. So you have to be careful about the chemicals. For the home and the office, we should have a health, safety and environment policy. We should all encourage best environmental practices like pollution prevention, no smoking indoors, no littering, safe handling and transport and disposal of chemicals, because children can reach chemicals wherever they are. And actually the children poisoning by chemicals has the rate increased in the last period, in many studies. Use environment-friendly equipment and technology, because this will save you energy, will save water, will save paper, will save a lot of other resources and save you money also. Avoid health and safety threats by good ventilation. Good ventilation. Good ventilation. I repeat, because ventilation is the most important factor in the accumulation of chemicals in the house. So if you open your windows and let in fresh air and let the polluted air get out, then you are safe. Otherwise, they will accumulate daily, and then at the end you will be breathing really heavy chemicals. There are regulations and there are standards for the air quality, water quality, food safety and noise that you should follow, and you can read about this. It is available everywhere. You need to make sure that you handle and store any poisonous or explosive materials or inflammable materials carefully. Otherwise, you are actually risking the health of your family. Make sure also that you have emergency precautions for any accidents or fire. And you should always keep the emergency exits free of any obstacles. I can see that some people store materials or equipment or whatever on the stairs, and that's not good, because once there is an accident or there is an emergency, people need to run, and every minute counts. So you have to keep all the emergency exits free. And some people even will smoke in emergency exits, and that is also very bad practice, because if people have to use the emergency exit, they should have it clean. They should find it clean. If for example, a pregnant woman is coming down from a tower in the stairs and it keeps smelling this smoke, then she may actually really suffer. And many allergic people will suffer from this. So people should not smoke in the stairs. For conservation of natural resources is actually the duty of everybody. I mean, it's really something that if we don't do, then natural resources will be exhausted, they will be depleted, and the next generations will really suffer. Rational consumption of water, energy, food, and all other resources like tissues, paper, ink, whatever you are using, you should be careful about rational consumption. Reuse of materials. if you use paper on both sides, you are saving 50% of the budget that you are paying, and actually you are also saving 50% of the trees being cut to produce paper. Recycle paper, carton, aluminum, plastic, glass, rubber, iron, copper, anything that is recyclable, please recycle it. Don't throw it in the dump like that. Recycling will save a lot of resources actually. But it is also important for the authorities to provide and help people to do recycling, because if they don't provide, for example, separate containers for separate materials, you cannot do the recycling. If you provide venues for selling and manufacture of the recycled material or exporting them, then that will make it much easier for people to collect the materials because they make money. You have to remember that prevention is always better and much cheaper than cure. So don't wait until you suffer chronic or severe sickness related to sick buildings problems, and then you start looking for a doctor and treatment. Please, prevention is always better than cure. Okay, and we have to be cautious about house chemicals, furniture, and radiation. Renew indoor air regularly. This is very important for the home, for the office, and for the car also. You have to keep your car, it's a closed environment, and it can also have a lot of chemicals inside, so you have to be careful about that, and also change the air regularly in your car. Benzenes and carbon monoxide, and also the car furniture will also emit chemicals just like the house furniture, so you have to refresh the air, And please no sleeping in a car when it is stopped, not moving, because it can actually accumulate carbon monoxide in the car because of the burning of the fuel, and then carbon monoxide is very dangerous, because if you inhale it, it will replace oxygen in your blood, and then a person will die without even feeling anything at all. And this actually happened in many places, and many authorities are now forbidding the sleeping in stopped cars. Healthy indoor environment is where you feel comfortable and have high productivity, and you find it where temperature and relative humidity are within reasonable range. No bad smell, no dust, no chemical pollution. Okay, no noise and no eye-irritating light reflections, and healthy water and food, good emergency plan, and these actually require public awareness, including authorities, landlords, and tenants. So if you listen to this lecture, then you should pass the information to others. Cooperation, coordination between the three sectors is very important, between authorities, landlords, and tenants, in order to implement the good indoor practices that will help your health. So, healthy indoor environment is affected by humidity, insulation, air quality, heating, temperature, visual comfort, ventilation, and noise. And then we can say that the biggest threat to the future of life on earth, and also to your health, is not this hyena, no. It is the indifference and saying not my business. This is the most important threat. Environmental conservation requires people to be aware, and for the environmental awareness we need environmental information and mass media communication. We need environmental education, and without these, people will not really be aware and environment will not be conserved. And I really thank you for listening and hope that you will pass the information to other people.